So I'm coming at you again with another Miller v. Becerra update because, like I said in some of my prior videos, this case is finally out of its holding pattern. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you think that California's assault weapons ban is completely unconstitutional and violates the Second Amendment, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also, I want to give a big shout out to one of the main sponsors of the channel, and that is Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory is an amazing company. They've shown me and this channel a lot of support, and they really support what we're doing to advocate for California gun rights and California gun owners. So thank you, Franklin Armory. I cannot thank them enough. And go over to their website, go over to their Instagram pages and show them support. As many of you are aware, Miller v. Becerra was set for a hearing on the preliminary injunction as far back as last December. Then it got pushed to January, then it got pushed to February, then it got pushed all the way back to March 19th. Then the virus outbreak happened and the hearing date pretty much got put on hold indefinitely. We started to have some rumblings and some updates on Miller v. Becerra, and the last video I made had to do with Judge Benitez's order essentially denying the AG's office motion to dismiss. And if you'd be interested in hearing what that all entailed, you can click this tab right here. But also today we got another critical update, and it had to do with something coming out of the status conference that we had earlier this week. And that update is that Judge Benitez has actually set an evidentiary hearing date for the motion for preliminary injunction. And so the new hearing date for Miller v. Becerra on the motion for preliminary injunction will be October 19th, 2020 at 9 o'clock in courtroom 5A before the Honorable and Saintly Judge Benitez. So that is the new hearing date we have for Miller v. Becerra, and it's very important and it's very critical because now we actually get to have that motion heard by Judge Benitez. We no longer have that hearing date held indefinitely. We actually have a firm date now. I know a lot of people had some confusion about the last status conference that was held earlier this week. A lot of people thought that that status conference was actually the hearing date on the motion for preliminary injunction, but it was not. The motion for preliminary injunction was filed by our side all the way back to last December the 6th, so December 6th, 2019. So that's how long it has been for us to actually have a hearing date on this motion. And this is not a hearing date on this entire case. It is a hearing date specifically on our side's motion for preliminary injunction. And what this means is essentially our side filed a motion back in December saying, Judge Benitez, look at these various facts in this case, and what we want you to do is enjoin, which means essentially stop the enforcement of California's various statutory languages which make various firearms illegal and makes them considered assault weapons. So essentially, it's similar to what we had happen in the Rody v. Becerra case and the Duncan v. Becerra case. The Freedom Week 1 in Duncan v. Becerra and the Ammo Day were a result of Judge Benitez granting a preliminary injunction. And so that's what we're looking for here also from this specific hearing date. One last thing I want to mention is in regards to what exactly is this evidentiary hearing for the motion for preliminary injunction that's being held October 19th. What exactly is this? An evidentiary hearing in federal court for a motion for preliminary injunction, think of it as a little mini trial. And it's a mini trial on that specific motion, and it goes to the standards for that specific motion. To be successful on a motion for preliminary injunction, you have to essentially meet three main factors for that specific motion. First, you have to prove that there is a likelihood of success on the merits. You then have to prove that the balance of equities, essentially the balance of the burdens, favors your side instead of the other side, and that the preliminary injunction is in favor of the public at large and it is favorable to the public's interest. So that is what our side will be going into this evidentiary hearing trying to prove to Judge Benitez. They will be trying to meet those three standards and essentially make it so that Judge Benitez agrees that a motion for preliminary injunction should be granted. Now, Judge Benitez likely will not rule that day. It might not even happen soon after that. We're not really sure. But this one's a little bit different also in regards to that this has been pushed back for a while. So very likely that Judge Benitez has already set his mind on what he will do, and he's kind of just going through the formalities, but we really don't know. And we don't know what form this will take as far as his ruling. A lot of us are anticipating something very beneficial will happen, and you can actually see from his recent order denying the AG's office motion to dismiss that he again is very favorable to us on this specific issue of what California deems assault weapons. So it's likely we could get some sort of favorable ruling, but what exactly that will look like, we don't know. So it might be a good idea leading up to the October 19th date or soon after that to make sure you purchase whatever accessories you want, pistol grips, stocks, forward vertical grips, flash hiders, whatever it is that you traditionally would want to put on a firearm that you would otherwise not be able to put on specific firearms because of California's structure and statutory language. You might want to have those. A lot of you probably already have those, but if you don't, it might be a good idea to try to get your hands on those now. Now, it's not illegal for you to have those specific items. It's not illegal for you to have a pistol grip for an AR-15. It's just illegal for you to put it on a specific rifle configured in a specific way. What I would not recommend is configuring your rifle in a non-compliant way, anticipating that Judge Benitez rules in our favor. I would never recommend that you pretty much skirt California law in anticipation that a judge will rule one way or another, because like we've seen in California, you can never predict what is going to happen. So this is great news. It's amazing that this is finally out of its holding pattern, and it's great that the hearing got set in October. We didn't have to wait a super long time for them to set that hearing date once everything got picked up. And that could signal to us as well that maybe we will get a fast ruling and order after that, but we don't know. But I will definitely let you guys know whenever we do get a ruling on this specific issue, and I will let you guys know my thoughts, my opinions on what you can and cannot do after Judge Benitez gives his order. If you're interested in those type of updates, I always recommend that you follow me on my alternative sources, like my Instagram page, which you can find in the details below, as well as keep an eye on the YouTube community tab, because that is the way I can get to you guys the fastest, let you guys know what's going on before I can actually put out a video, because sometimes it's hard for me to put out a video fast. So that is the fastest way that I will let you guys know things that are breaking news, like if we get an order from Judge Benitez on this case. So if you like this video and you'd like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to join the Patreon page, and I'll go ahead and put a link down below to the Patreon page. Also, like, commenting, subscribing, and make sure you hit the notification bell, because that helps the channel analytics, helps us spread the word about the Second Amendment, helps spread the word about what we are dealing with here in the state of California and the various actions of the state of California in trying to infringe on our Second Amendment rights. So as always, thanks you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.